Kadei shorchat kapas yachat magid rachta maitzi.
More so than any other night in the Jewish calendar, the Pesach Seder is all about education, all about chinuch, all about higadah levincha, but asking questions and not so much answering them as trying to reveal and trying to validate a little bit that there is a deeper level. There's something to ask about. Sometimes things don't make sense, and we should pique that curiosity. We should raise these questions. We should ask them. We should engage in them. Rav Kook, as well as others, point out two kind of blaring questions that happen right at the beginning of the Seder. You know, we sit down, the table is set, we make Kiddush, we say the different steps of the Seder, and we look at one another and we say, Halach ma'anya. A paragraph kind of making a couple of ha'aros, a few observations about what's happening right now. It's a little bit of framing. What is the matzah about? What is this night about so much? And it's a little bit of a tefillah for Geula at the end as well. And smack in the middle of this paragraph is this line of Kol dichten yetzei v'yechol, a refrain of everyone who's hungry, anyone who needs a meal, come and join us. And a couple of strange things here that Rav Kook, as well as others, ask on this one line. Number one, halach ma'anya does not seem to belong in this place, at least in the context of the rest of the Haggadah. We know in the Manishtana, for example, Chazal are already pointing this out, that we ask, what's the matzah about? What is this bread? Why is this night different than all other nights? And in Halach Ma'anya, we say that it's lechamoni. This is the bread of affliction. We kind of identify what the matzah is. And that points to Halach Ma'anya kind of being added later. It wasn't written with the rest of the Haggadah. So why was this added later, specifically this paragraph? And why do we say it at the beginning of the Seder? And also, asked by many others, is what kind of invitation is this? We're already sitting at the table. The meal has already started. We're looking around at one another and saying, anyone who wants to come can eat. It seems a little bit disingenuous. We already started. This isn't the time to invite guests. And Rav Kook explains beautifully that Halach Ma'anya is inserted after the Chorban. That means there was a reality of Geula that the Jewish people felt that they were living in. And that reality was shattered. Walls came crashing down. Things came flying over the walls. And people were getting hurt, and the news was difficult to look at. And all of a sudden, in the Sidarim, the Pesach Seders that we were sitting down to after the Chorban, we needed a little bit of reconvincing that there could be Geula, that there could be another Yetzias Mitzrayim. We needed to be reminded that what we find ourselves in right now is not the end game, that things can be better. As the Lubavitch Rebbe explains, the greatest exile that a person can find themselves in is to deny that there's anything greater in store. Halach Ma'anya is the reassurance before we start the Seder. We believe that actually things can get better. Actually, the reality is not as bleak as the news may make it seem. It's a prayer to believe that Geula is possible. We may not yet be there. It may feel like we're further from being in that place than we ever have been before. But it's possible, and we anticipate it. And the same is true of Kol Dichman V'Yetzel. Rav Kook suggests, this is found in other Svarim as well, that it's not so much sarcastic, not so much disingenuous, as much as it's aspirational. We look at our table, our set table, and we think about the people that we may have not extended an invitation to at the Seder night, but also in general in our homes. How much of our own personal and or Jewish experience have we shared with others? And we think, did I do as much as I could have? And we aspire to share our experience with more people. The same way that we aspire for Geula, the same way that we aspire for a greater redemption and a broader redemption in the Jewish experience and for the Jewish people, we want to share that with others as well. Because the closer we are to each other and the closest we are with ourselves, the closer we are to Kadosh Baruch Hu. And Kadosh Baruch Hu bless us to have a full Seder, for all of us to be sitting at the table together and rebuild Yerushalayim and bring the Korban Pesach. And may Hashem may it be soon.